The Zondo Commission of Inquiry that looked into allegations of state capture is facing questions of its own about the cost of the investigators that it used. Last month, Chief Justice Raymond Zondo revealed that the Commission had cost South Africa almost 1 billion rand, but said that it had saved the country billions more. Let's talk about the latest developments with legal journalist from News 24, Karyn Maughan, joining us now, Karyn, because you've got, in fact, an exclusive report today looking at the complaints about the investigators. What is the exact nature of the complaints that were being investigated?
Well, I mean, I think it's important to reflect that this investigation had its genesis in anonymous allegations which were basically leveled and which the then Finance Minister Tito Mboweni was made aware of at least as early as September 2020 based on the correspondence that we've seen. He engaged with the Justice Minister, Ronald Lamula, at that time about his concerns. We, of course, know subsequent to that in Parliament in 2021, saying that he was not happy, that he was not going to, he was very unhappy about the continuous extensions of the inquiry and that he was not happy about the escalating costs. The Treasury would take a perspective on whether it would continue to fund it. That, of course, resulted in investigators not being paid for up to 9 months, which, of course, had implications for the preparation of prosecutions. Those complaints made by Mboweni in 2020 now appear to be the basis of the investigation that the Justice Department has admitted to us that it is in the process of, appointing a private firm to conduct. But it says that this is strictly in relation to the cost of the investigators and whether the commission, in fact, got quote unquote value for money. And of course, in the documents that we've seen that date from about 2021, there are also question marks about the services that were provided to investigators. Were they appropriately qualified? How were they appointed? Because there seems to be unhappiness based on what we've seen about the fact that the commission had the power to appoint these people, and it appearing that the Justice Department might not necessarily be happy about that process.
You say the focus is to do with the costs of the services acquired, but is there any suggestion, I wonder, at all, that there may have been a violation of any laws in appointing these investigators?
Well, interestingly enough, one of the documents that we've seen was actually provided by a KwaZulu-Natal forensic firm, which was approached by the department to potentially provide these services. And in it actually offers, in the event that sort of anything criminal is discovered, potential violations of the Public Finance Management Act, that it will assist the department in terms of potential criminal prosecutions and investigations. But at this point, from the documentation that we've seen, there does not appear to be any concrete evidence of irregularity and or criminality at this point. It just seems, and I think this is why we are really hoping that the Justice Department comes forward and gives us a bit more detail on what is happening, that the investigation is focused on anonymous allegations that were given to the minister 2 years ago. And of course, Thembekile, you and I, and the South African public in general, are very aware that this commission is under considerable levels of attack from the people implicated in it. There have been a number of discussions about potential legal action, and there's been an environment created around the commission that's very much about delegitimizing it and its work. And of course, we need to see what the courts do in relation to that. But in that context, the kind of lack of detail that we currently have about this investigation, the fact that it is now taking place 2 years after the fact, those allegations first emerging, I think raises a lot of understandable concern about why it's been done now and what exactly its parameters are.
And how much have you been able to figure out, Karyn, about why indeed this is happening now? I mean, the letter that's central to your piece today is dated 9th July 2021, a year ago.
Absolutely. And I mean, I think that, we are hoping that the Justice Department comes forward and provides that information. Certainly the officials that I spoke to said that that was an important question that needed to be asked, but they were unable to answer the question. And when we were making inquiries, this was very much, the people that we were dealing with in the Justice Department were administrative staff who up until very recently were not actually aware that the investigation was happening. So a lot of question marks.